Hi. If I knew it was going to go on my laptop, I would have finished drying my hair. Never mind. It's not about me. It's about the process and the information. Okay. So happy Sunday. This is a book that's wonderful. It's called Preventing Bipolar Relapse, which colon, a lifestyle program to help you maintain a balanced mood and live well. So this is by Ruth C. White. She's a PhD, MPH, MSW, which I know the last one is social work. Okay, so the first thing that nobody's ever called it, or maybe they have, I don't know. But in the beginning of the book, she calls it the beast that is bipolar. Sorry, I have new glasses and I think they're tilting. Oh well. Okay. So this is in the introduction. I want to thank my daughter Maya, who always makes me laugh and inspires me with her confidence in herself and the possibilities of life. She is also my inspiration for doing everything I can to prevent my own bipolar relapse. Okay, so I pulled out originally when I read it, and then I pulled out when I thought we'd use this book today some things that strike me as important and significant today. It may be difficult to accept that you have a chronic illness that requires medication and lifelong management, lifestyle changes, medication, and therapy. So, for a lot of people, accepting the diagnosis is difficult. For a lot of people, um, hang on a second, just forget it. Um, it's hard to accept that it's chronic. It's hard to accept how much it will change a person's life. And not everybody is thrilled that you need medication to stay baseline. And there are often people that once prescribed meds go off their meds. Talking about that play that I told you about, Next to Normal, part of that is that she got meds, you know, felt numb from the meds, didn't feel like her life had the flavor it did before. So she stopped taking them. Not a good thing. Not a good thing. And in the play, it goes south like Sherman, like I used to tell my school kids. Um, but anyway, okay, so um, preventing bipolar relapse requires motivation, a commitment to your own health, discipline, structure, courage, and a belief that you can get better. You need effective and creative strategies for promoting your own healthy behavior and for avoiding the reoccurrence of your bipolar symptoms. I apologize. What was it? Symptoms. Success at preventing bipolar relapse also requires the help of others, such as your friends, your partner, your family, and your healthcare providers. If you have bipolar disorder and want to live a healthier, more balanced life, this book is for you. Um, I basically feel like everything except for the encyclopedic books, like Manic Depressive Volume One, you know, they are all going to say this book's for you. Okay, so turn the page. This is a little bio on her. In 2004, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I personally prefer the term manic depression because it more accurately reflects the two conditions that are described by the more modern bipolar disorder. I learned early in my life exercise made a feel made me feel really good and kept my mood stable and my brain clear. Caffeinated beverages may get me wired and sometimes irritable. I limited my caffeine intake. I kept a journal. I've said that many times. Keep a journal. No matter who you are, keep a journal. You'll learn lessons from yourself. Um, I must admit, going into the research on my for my dissertation, I should have thought more about the hormonality of women, not only menstrual cycle, but premenopause and menopause, which is more openly talked about than it was a long time ago. My mother didn't even want to give me the facts of life talk. She gave it to my oldest sister. God bless my oldest sister. So, so I never wanted people to identify when I had monthly pain. I would try very much to naturally cover it or extra work at covering it. That was a goal of mine. But when I started this research, and it kind of is obvious, although men have hormones too, but they are not as cyclical as women's moments, the start of women's menstrual experiences, the end of women's menstrual experiences. I won't talk much more about that, but it should have been obvious to me. Da da. Look at this. We're talking about ups and downs, and women already have some ups and downs. So, uh, this is about her journal. It allowed my mental health care provider to see patterns over time and help me understand how my illness presented in a particular case affecting my behavior and my life. So, yes, a person should share a journal with a psychiatrist or a counselor. If you are just someone who has no mental illness, a journal, it behooves you to keep a journal. I've been keeping a journal since I was 11, and every year, New Year's Eve, I read it. And I learn from myself. I learn from my feelings when I wrote it and how I have different feelings now, or what lessons I learned from myself, or I could learn from last year. I think it's really valuable. It's going to make for one heck of an autobiography someday if I get the chance to write it and if I have some help, because I think autobiography writing is different than dissertation writing. That's what I think. Okay. Now we go down to stigma. The one title that I put and didn't think we were going to cover it, and then there was a little bit in the readings that I read. I wrote this book knowing the stigma faced by people living with mental illness, such as bipolar disorder. This stigma often prevents people with mental illness from making positive changes in their life because they do not want to out themselves to friends, relatives, work colleagues, and superiors as having mental illness. And this is true. I am sorry to say that the research, the articles, everything you can accrue from materials, there is still such a stigma. I'll give you an example. Taylor Swift's good friend, Selena Gomez, is bipolar. She's been willing to share that, which you'd think, wow, if a famous person has it and still has all this talent and singing and acting and blah, blah, blah. But I don't think it's happened that way yet. I mean, if you're famous and you're already making millions of dollars, saying it is probably not going to stop those thousands and millions of dollars from going away. Unless there's some insurance thing that I don't understand about Hollywood. But if you, in your life, if it affects your job and your relationships, just saying the title of an illness you might have, some people might be gone. Some people might want you gone. Some people might tell you, we want you gone, but not say it's because of your mental illness, because they could get around it, okay? They could find a flaw in your work or whatever. So, we still have stigma. We haven't talked about self-stigma yet, and I will find the sections on my, if I don't find it anywhere else, I know my dissertation has a part about self-stigma. Staying healthy helps you be more in control of your lives, maximize productivity, and participate in rewarding daily activities. Therefore, trying to prevent mood episodes is a goal for most people living with bipolar disorder. This is cool. This is cool. So she calls it SNAP. Sleep, nutrition, activity, people. Only 4 things to remember, 4 letters to remember. So cool. You can all handle that. Little caffeine to add to the not caffeine episode. I crack myself up. Okay, so we're calling it SNAP, sleep, nutrition, activity, people. So I'm going to read the paragraph on sleep, which we already know in several episodes. Sleep management is important to all people at all stages of life, but is particularly important for people with mental illness like bipolar disorder. Sleep regulates your circadian rhythm. Remember that. I'll say it a lot. Which research is increasingly finding to be important to mood regulation in people living with bipolar disorder. Getting good sleep that allows you to wake up feeling rested and energized is not only evidence that you are probably not experiencing symptoms of your bipolar disorder, it can also prevent you having a relapse. Nutrition. This is something I know about. This is where I do my own thing as a person. I know it involves health for all people. I think I talked about my silly diet once. I'll say it again, but nobody should live like that. Nutrition provides the building blocks for body functioning, and healthy body supports a healthy mind. A basic nutrition plan for someone with bipolar disorder invites eating generally and recommended foods with a focus on foods that help the brain function and prevent episodes of depression and mania. Micronutrients like omega-3 fatty acids help with the balance of biochemicals such as serotonin and epinephrine, which influence mood episodes. Now, I want to say something about that. And I have to find the research that's starting to go there. They thought bipolar disorder was only incorrect chemistry in your brain, serotonin levels. That goes into the name of some medicines now, and I have to find it because it'd be like the most recent research. they're not feeling like that's 100% it, if at all. So I had to look at the new research, but everything that I read for my dissertation, which was for 2022, um, was chemistry's mixed up, serotonin level. Even Sheldon speaks about it on Big Bang. Um, they're not 100% there anymore. So I will find the latest research, and then we'll come to know whatever past research we look at. We'll gauge it against what they have found new. Activity has a broad meaning in our discussion, although it is focused on physical activity and includes formal exercise for its own sake. It also may refer to living on an active lifestyle that may not require formal exercise. We will talk about how activity influences your brain and body functions to maximize your brain health, and I will provide you with the strategies that will help support the physical and mental health you desire. So, exercise. I try to walk a half a mile a day. I would love to walk a mile again because that's what I used to do. But I'm certainly trying to work back up to that. It depends on your job, on if you're, let's just grab a number out of the air. If you're in your 40s, like my two daughters that have kids, and you have kids, and you have sports, and you have violin, and you have swimming lessons, and you have, where was I going with that? Okay, so you might have a limited opportunity for yourself, but you can have a cheap piece of equipment, or you can just, there's some kind of chair exercises for older people. I think it's Tai Chi. Remember that? Tai Chi for older people, and you're in your chair. So there are things you can do in your house without spending money. Okay. So that shouldn't be your reason for not being active. Okay. Point made. People focuses on the ways in which the people in your life can help you maintain an even keel and support you in your healthy behaviors. It is also true that interacting with people helps decrease the likelihood of depression and decreases the severity and duration of depressive symptoms. This will also be a discussion of medical and mental health professionals for dispersing of medications or talk therapy. So, where that comes into play, that worksheet that I have kept showing you, it has a box for when you have your first interaction with people. That's important. Like, do you never interact with people all day? Do you interact with people early in the morning, afternoon, evening? It's going to help you if you're active and there are people in your life to keeping this snap going. Sleep, nutrition, activity, and people. So, Dr. Ruth C. White has given us some snip, snap, snippy ways to work on our mental health. So, thanks for being here. Keep up the views. I like doing it on my laptop, my phone. Have a good day. I'll see you Monday. Bye.